What if I told you that the key to unlocking your potential lies in the reflection that you see in your mirror on a daily basis? I'm Dr. Chytra Anand. I'm a dermatologist, I'm an educator, a beauty entrepreneur, and a skin health advocate. I always talk to people about what it means to look good and feel good. Having seen over 10,000 plus patients across my clinics over the years, I truly believe in the saying that you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you do good. In fact, you may do great. The health of our skin has an intrinsic connection to what we do in our lives, to our success, or even to our failures, be it in our professional or in our social gatherings. When we talk about all of this, when we look at our reflections, we're seeing something that comes back to us as a feedback. Now, let me ask you, do first impressions matter? Do we judge each other on our appearances? Do we make impressions about each other on how we look? You're seeing this pot of plant, and then you see this pot of plant, and then you know what happens. Now, I want you to do an experiment with me. When I walked into this room, you already made an impression about me. So let's do this experiment. I would like each of you to turn to each other when I say now, and then I'll count down to 3, then you look back at me. Now, 1, 2, 3. Look back at me. You've now made an impression and formed an impression about your neighbor. You didn't even speak to them, but in that 3 seconds, you've decided if the person next to you is likable, trustworthy, or dependable. And that is what first impression is about. It's really powerful. And the first impression is really based on our appearances. The clarity of our skin has an impression of confidence and an impression of discipline. And this helps us form an impression, and this is already there from 6 months of age. It's in tune into the brain for us to form decisions, to make an impression. And now when a first impression is made, it tends to last. And anything we see after that, all the signs around us, tends to either conform to it most likely. And we have something called a confirmation bias that happens, and this confirmation bias actually prevents us from looking at signs that will distract us from our initial opinion. So we're only reaffirming our opinion again and again. So it's really hard to reverse the first impression that we create. And it all comes down to skin. Why? Because the first thing we see is skin. And skin is not just about the external covering of our body, it's also the largest organ in our body. It has to do with protection, sensation, and communication. And what our skin tells us when it's unblemished, when it's clear, and it's healthy is what we want to convey. Because when we do this, there is a reaffirmation to our brain. What happens is, would you agree with me that it's essential to be mindful of the impressions that we create or make? And all of this really comes down to a few things. Have a look at this image. We're talking here about skin health. When I look at people, just think about you also. If you are unwell or if there's an illness, your skin tends to look duller. But if there's a stressful situation, if something is coming up, an event, you might suddenly break out with that acne or zit which you didn't have for a while. Like this, when I see patients in my clinics, I'm able to diagnose nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, talk about chronic diseases, and even diagnose cancer just by looking at skin. That's why skin is a mirror of our inner health. I see kids as young as 7 and 8 having acne breakouts, and I know that their perimenopause changes happening. So that's why skin is such an important indicator in skin health. Look at this. This is the psychological impact. She's looking at herself, flawless skin, beautiful. So there's affirmation coming that you're looking good, feeling of positivity, which boosts self-worth, which boosts confidence. And when we're confident, we tend to sit up straight, hold our necks high, pull our shoulders back, and project a confident image to the world. And we tend to be more of a go-getter. As opposed to this image right here, where she's looking at blemishes, lines, and then there's a negative feedback going through to her brain, and this tends to be a bit of a dampener. So it pulls her down, gives her a feeling of lack of self-confidence. That means, again, this will affect her in her life. So the psychological impact of looking good is proven. There are dermatological journals which talk and have proven beyond doubt that when people have blemishes on their skin, it makes them feel a sense of shame, a lesser self-worth, and brings down their confidence, which in turn affects all of their interactions in their life, social or professional. Similarly, journals in psychology talk about injections that relieve wrinkles on the face, which are very popular. And they actually did a study with a bunch of patients who have depression, mild, moderate, and severe. And when these people underwent these injections and they saw their faces wrinkle-free, more radiant, they actually felt better. Their depression got better, even in severe depression. So the role and the link between what we see and what we decipher in our brain is proven. And these kind of impacts have a role in us. We see media, we see society, we see publications. Everybody today talks and is obsessed about looks. But it's an unrealistic expectation that is getting set because most imagery that we see like this is photoshopped. And this is setting the benchmark for what we're thinking is beautiful. Let me correct you. This is not beautiful. What is beautiful is clear skin, glowing skin, radiant skin, unblemished skin, healthy skin. It's not about photoshopped looks or appearances. This also has a bearing in our professional life. What has the professional life got to do with it? If you're confident and you look good and you feel great about yourself, you tend to take more risks at work, in your profession, in your personal life too. Similarly, we have something called the halo effect. The halo effect is when somebody is perceived to be good looking, they're given more opportunities and more chances. So better chance at promotion, a better chance at getting recruited for a higher paying job, better chance at cracking a deal or collaborations. And in the society front, on the social side, a better chance at creating friendships, forging new relationships, and networking. And this is ingrained in our brain. It's not that this is a learned behavior, this is already present. Now, I wouldn't be right if I didn't touch upon color bias, the skin of color bias that we talk about. Being a skin of color expert, I always talk to my patients about not thinking about the color of the skin, but clarity of the skin. And these are the kind of imagery that we see from centuries, from ancient times, across civilizations. Color of the skin has been seen to be either marked with nobility, morality, virtue, success, high standing, etc. In some civilizations, the paler the skin, they're considered more noble because they've not had to go out and work. And in some civilizations, a tan skin is considered to be healthy, and that means it's youthful and healthy. So like this, color bias exists. And I see a lot of you nodding your heads on this. It's true, color bias exists in the society. And India, being 1.4 billion people with skin of color, we all know that color bias exists in our society. For a long time, a successful wedding was a wedding where the bride was found to be fair and lovely. But this perception is changing. We've seen that the urban India is woke and the communication is changing in urban India. But this still needs to go through to the rest of India and to Bharat as we talk about it. Similarly, in other civilizations in the world too. So skin of color is a topic that we need to discuss, and we need to get away from being color biased. Why did I talk today at the TED? Because I want us to talk about all of these biases that we have. And I want us to embrace our investment into looking good. I'm known as the beauty dog, and for many years in my city, people would shy away from talking to me in social gatherings because they would feel judged. They would say if I spoke to Dr. Chytra, people would think I had a procedure, and that's why I look the way I do. And this taboo of taking care of our skin needs to go away. We need to have conversations about how it's okay for us to take care of ourselves. We work out to be fit. We take care of our nutrition to be fit on the inside. So why are we not okay to talk about taking care of ourselves on the outside? Why the taboo? We need to embrace this wholeheartedly and invest into ourselves, not just the inner health, but also the outer health, which is the skin health, so that we have a 360-degree global approach to looking good, feeling good. And skin health journey is really simple. First, it's education that skin reflects and is a mirror of your inner health. So it's not just on the outside application, but it's also what we do on the inside. Second, it's about consistency in our skincare routine, keeping it really simple. Skin does not need a complex routine, but also thinking about skin health the way you would think about your general health checkup. You go on an annual basis to see your doctor for your medical checkup. Same way, have your skin health checkup with your skin doctor so that you can maintain this. Fourth, we need to get these conversations going about embracing ourselves, about feeling confident and powerful enough to own ourselves, and also about being okay and non-judgmental about others. And with this, in conclusion, I want to say that skin is not just the outer covering. It also is one that tells the tales of what we've been through in our life. It talks about our journey, our tales, our failures, and our success. So nourish it, nurture it, and cherish it. But most importantly, make sure that you do everything possible to look good, feel good, and be confident so that you can pursue excellence in your life and be successful. Thank you.